Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at Solana. We're going to have a recap of what Solana is. As well as that, we're going to look at it as a potential amazing investment moving in to the end of this year and into next year. Obviously nothing I say on this channel is financial advice, so always go away and do your own research before investing any of your own money. Without further ado, let's jump into today's video. So guys, jumping over to the Solana website, which as always is linked down below in the description, so make sure you go and check it out after this video. Solana is a decentralized blockchain built to enable scalable, user-friendly apps for the world. Now, you've probably heard of Ethereum if you haven't already heard of Solana. Ethereum is the original decentralized blockchain, allowing for different content to be produced and created onto that blockchain. Now, Ethereum comes up with a few shortfalls. For example, it can be very expensive and it can be very slow because only a smaller number of transactions can happen each second, which means that the price then gets forced up with the highest bidder then taking the particular transaction. Whilst Ethereum is the original and has a lot of things built on it, such as NFTs and other things in the Web3 world starting to get built on it as well, Solana is thought to be one of the potential Ethereum killers that could come and change the way we look at blockchain because it's significantly faster. And I mean significantly faster, guys. It's faster than things like Visa transactions and loads of others. It does nearly 3,000 transactions per second at an average cost of $0.00025 at a cost of less than a cent. Absolutely incredible. And it offers great opportunities when we talk about NFTs, DeFi and Web3. And Solana was brought into the limelight last year with the rise of the NFT market, where people were trying to buy NFTs on Ethereum, but often the gas fees were above the actual value of the NFT, making it very difficult for people to get any profits from trading their NFTs. Solana was looked at as a potentially better option. Whilst the Solana NFT market is still significantly smaller than Ethereum's, it has grown much more aggressively in comparison. Other things like games, DeFi, Web3 are also being built onto the platform, and it's one of the fastest growing ecosystems in the world. It can be integrated without having to worry about scaling for the future because it's only limited now by the technology that exists around it. So as technology is improved, Solana is also going to develop along with it, which means that you only have to implement this once and it's going to be scalable forever. Forever it will give you low costs and it'll also continue to be fast. It's decentralized and secure. Not only is Solana ultra fast and low cost, it is censorship resistant. The Solana network is spread over thousands of independent nodes, which means that your transactions are always safe. However, very recently there was a little bit of a concern with the security of Solana because it was hacked. Now there's obviously been a lot of upgrades and things that have happened since that, and a few different steps taken to ensure that this doesn't happen again. But this is probably one of the things that we could look at in terms of whether or not Solana could be an Ethereum killer. And that's potentially a good reason that people are using why it couldn't be moving into the future. Obviously Ethereum much slower, but also able to cope better in terms of the sort of security demands that come around. But we'll also look at that concept of Ethereum killers slightly later on, looking at Solana as the best example. Now, in terms of Solana's roadmap, Solana is pretty much at the end of the line for its production phase. As of July 2022, which was obviously last month, there remains only one item to complete on the official Solana roadmap, and that is the full mainnet release. However, as we know, the Solana mainnet is already out in its beta form. Instead, it seems that Solana has more so just abandoned updating its roadmap. So obviously Solana is a well-established cryptocurrency now. People don't tend to pay so much attention to the roadmap, knowing full well that Solana is up and running and performing extremely well. If you come across to the Solana news section within the community tab, you can find out all of the things that are happening each month on the Solana network. Now this one draws my attention because obviously I've just mentioned how Solana has gone through a period of time where they've had a little bit of uncertainty after a recent hack. Top Solana news: Jump Crypto introduces a new validator client, Firedance, a second and new open source validator client for Solana blockchain to increase the throughput and reliability of the network built by Jump Crypto. This is big because Jump Crypto has announced that they are producing an alternative validator client for the network. This will help improve the overall performance of the network and hopefully as well aid in the future security of the network also. In terms of whether or not I think Solana is a good investment going forward the end of this year and into next year? Let's take a look at that. So everyone's been talking about whether or not Solana can displace Ethereum as the top decentralized blockchain by market cap. I'm going to give you a reason, or a few reasons, why I really don't think that's going to happen, at least not in the shorter term. When it comes to crypto, many people are invested in crypto, but many people don't actually know anything about crypto. They get drawn into it because of the potential gains, and a lot of people are just here because they want to make some money. They don't really care about what each of the different cryptos does. And ultimately what that means is the more established cryptocurrencies will continue to boom further and further into the future because they have bigger networks already. So people who maybe made some money in Ethereum last year will be then telling their friends to buy Ethereum next year when it's going to be booming again, whereas people don't really perhaps know about Solana because they're not that heavily involved in crypto. So you've got to think that most of the people entering into crypto as newbies will be looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and not really many others. But that's okay because Solana obviously is well established and is a solid protocol that's going to continue to boom into the future. And why I think it's a better investment than Ethereum. Despite Ethereum being the biggest original out there, Solana's not going to displace it, but you can still make significantly more money by investing in Solana than Ethereum, in my opinion. Obviously, go away and do your own research. The reason I think that is, guys, when crypto market booms again, it's going to boom because Bitcoin moves, and then you're going to see all the other cryptos following along with it. Now, if we look at the top, and I want you to pay attention to a market cap, it's not about the size of the individual token, okay? So Bitcoin is $20,000 right now, Ethereum $1,577. But the market cap for Ethereum pretty much half that of Bitcoin. That doesn't mean that then Ethereum is worth $10,000 a token because there's different numbers of tokens in supply. So we're paying attention to the market cap. For you to make 10%, so if I buy one Ethereum and I want to go up 10%, which right now would be $150, I need the Ethereum market cap to go up by $19.3 billion. That's a lot of money, $19.3 billion. Coming down to Solana, the Solana market cap is only $11 billion. So to make 10% in Ethereum, I need to add 1.5 Solana market caps to the Ethereum market cap. I hope that makes sense. So basically, right now, Solana is worth $31. For me to make 10% on that, which okay is $3, then I would need the Solana market cap to go up $1.1 billion, which is significantly less than $19 billion, which means when the market moves, you're going to see Solana and the smaller cryptocurrency tokens absolutely booming far more aggressively than Ethereum, Bitcoin, etc. Now, I myself am a trader and love to pay attention to what's going on in the charts because no matter what people tell you about the news and everything going on with cryptocurrency, the ultimately most important part is the supply and demand. Whether people are prepared to buy something, what they're prepared to pay for it, etc. And this time and time again shows up in the charts. So when people tell you that, something is going to defy the charts and whatever, it doesn't, guys. It may do for a very short period of time, but ultimately it will always come back. And it will ultimately always show patterns. Now we have a very nice pattern on the weekly chart for Solana. Now, I want you to draw attention. You're probably thinking that, yeah, it's moving down, and ultimately the human mind is designed to tell us that it's going to continue moving down. In the same way that when people were buying up here, they were buying because they think it was going to go up. If you can't see this on the right-hand side, then you probably do think it's going to continue going up, and that's when you get absolutely destroyed buying up here and then being down currently 88%, which is obviously pretty painful. But instead of looking at it like that, from where we are right now, the potential back to the very top is just over 700%. So if I was to put in $100, potentially when this hits all-time highs again, and it will be worth $700, $1,000 to $7,000. You can do the simple maths on that. Now we also have a few things to consider. Ultimately, this is a falling wedge. Falling wedges, more often than not every single time, will break towards the upside, okay? So what we are anticipating, and right now we are literally challenging that zone. When we break out of these, we do push towards the upside, and the target for these patterns is back at the all-time high. And I'm going to look at where we could potentially go beyond the all-time high in just a moment. Also, I want to draw your attention to this green area through here. This is a demand zone. How do I know it's a demand zone? Well, we pushed up rapidly we consolidated for a bit and we came back into this zone. When institutions and big money want to load up on a crypto or a forex pair or anything in particular, they'll always revisit a particular zone. The reason for that, guys, if you're buying down here at like $25 and it goes up quickly to $50, you don't want to pay $50. If you've just paid $25 for it, you're going to wait for it to return into that zone. And then each time you can see they load up, pushes the price, till eventually all of the bags are full, they've got all of their supply they need, and then they can ramp the price. And then they'll wait till everyone's hyped and buying the market, and then they'll sell the top, and then they'll just repeat the process until we're back in this zone now. So you can see that we have now revisited this zone, and this is a demand zone. So remember, now Solana is entering again into a demand zone. Literally right now, we're sitting on an area where the potential downside risk for me is down around 30%, with the upside potential being at least 700%, which is why I think this is a phenomenal investment right now. If we were to take the Fibonacci retracement, now this obviously is not 100% reliable, but typically when we see cryptocurrencies going through the cycle where they go all-time high and drop back down, and then they will tend to return to the 1.618 or the golden ratio. Now sometimes it may even go beyond that, but obviously that's not necessarily a bad thing. So from current prices to the 1.618, you're looking at nearly a 12x on Solana, a top 10 cryptocurrency with the potential to give you a 12x. This for me is an absolute no-brainer. Now obviously I'm not telling you to go and buy it, but I'm telling you to go and research it, and maybe consider buying it after you've done your own research on it. So never buy anything without doing your own research first, guys. I'm only looking at this. I'm looking at the potential upside. There is obviously a downside risk, as there is with all cryptocurrency, because crypto is very risky, guys. But that's my 2 cents on where I foresee Solana growing too, because GameFi, NFTs, Web3 are all booming areas of the market, and Solana is going to really help that to perform very strongly, in my opinion. So jumping across finally to the Twitter, link down below in the description along with the Solana website and everything I've talked about today. You can see that there's various updates happening on this platform. So if you want to keep up to date with what's going on in Solana, then come across here, give them a follow, and you can see everything that's happening. Various different releases, partnerships, and other things going on. Twitter is where loads of stuff happens on Twitter when it comes to crypto. Personally, I never really liked the platform before because I tend to go down rabbit holes and spend too long on this platform, but it is very useful if you use it as a tool for investing or just learning knowledge in general. So in summary, guys, Solana is a fantastic blockchain that is ultimately infinitely scalable into the future. It's super fast, super cheap, and is thought of by many to become the next Ethereum killer. Whether or not that happens is still up for question into the future, but I still think it's a fantastic investment because I still believe that it has a huge, insane upside potential against a minimal downside risk, but obviously do your own research on that. If you enjoyed today's video, guys, make sure you smash the thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. And if you're new to the channel, you want to learn more about Web3, cryptocurrency, NFTs, and much, much more, then make sure you subscribe to be kept up to date with all of the latest happening. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you very soon with another video. Bye-bye.